actually have a TV host, TV personality, news personality, I don't know, social media presence, everything.
Exactly.
She's everywhere. She's a Wonder Woman herself.
She is also, by the way, a law graduate. So she was one of the hosts that, you know, whenever I would be like, hey, JELISA, I need help with a contract, she'd be like, yeah, I got you. So I'm pretty excited to have her on the show together with her mom because, you know, her mom is also a very inspiring lady.
Of course.
Yes. And you also follow her career, right?
Oh, I very much do. True inspiration to me as well. Over the years, you know, when we've been learning, being in this industry, we always have things we learn, we take experiences, take note from other people. So she has been one true inspiration for me as well, reading her stories, reading her interviews. Yeah, so that's where we learn from as well, Zoe. So we have with us, joining us today on this lovely Sunday morning, we have JELISA SHANJANA.
I love the introduction. Thank you so much.
I'm trying to go up to Zoe's tune here. And wonderful mother, Madam MANGAL, thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for spending Mother's Day morning here with us.
We are really happy to be on set here with the both of you. And in fact, I think the introduction earlier and what you had mentioned about my career, it's so nice to also hear from the both of you live in action here today, and especially because Zoe has been a dear friend to me.
Yes,
so thank you so much for having us.
I'm
Thank you
super
so
excited because whenever you're on the show, I'm not on the show. I've never had a chance to like be on the same couch together. So today, again, I want to let everyone know that both of them are not currently living in KL. So it's actually a huge honor for them to have them here on the show. So Mom is currently living in Ipoh, right? And of course, JELISA is currently residing all the way in Singapore.
Yes, but of course, I'm still Malaysian and my heart and soul is still here. So yeah, it's nice to actually be back on the couch here. And this time, the reason why I think it's very special for me, it's not so much about myself today, but because it's the very first time on TV here with me.
Wow.
So it has been a nice feeling as well.
So you've Mum, you've always seen your daughter on, you know, out there, throwing herself out there in front of cameras, and you've always been, you know, behind the cameras, probably looking at her from behind the scenes. How does it feel being here in front of your camera with your daughter?
Oh, it is very wonderful. I mean, I'm so proud to be with her today on air.
Love it. What's your biggest takeaway from having seen JELISA, you know, on TV? Like I said, she is an actual law graduate, but while she was doing law, she was still, you know, pursuing TV hosting. So how does it feel, you know, now seeing from there when she first started to where she is now?
Of course, it's very encouraging because JELISA has always been a very independent person, and well, it was okay for me because she was all the time, she did her law, and today she wants to be on air, so it's a very good achievement.
But it's two different spectrum we're looking at here, right? But then again, you know, we have so many guests on the show that they come law graduate, engineering graduates who go on to doing arts and crafts and entrepreneurs and all that. But I do have to ask JELISA, what inspired, I would say, the transformation? You're a law graduate, and media spectrum is like entirely different from law. I wouldn't say entirely, but you know, it's different. So what inspired that journey?
I always get this question. Every time I get this question, I always look at it in one simple, I would say, not really a philosophy, but I would think of it as it's the same dynamics all in all. If you can sell ice to an Eskimo, in whatever that you do, if it's convincing enough, that means you're good to go, whether you're in the courtroom or whether you are on set. So for me, whenever people tell me how did that whole switch over happen, of course, back then it was very foreign for people to say that if I'm going to university for one particular thing and then to do something else that is going to be different, it would still be something a little bit foreign and odd. But in these times today, you may be in any field or whatever your education background is, as long as you know what you bring to the table, you're good to go. And it's really just the art of selling ice to an Eskimo. You can convince yourself to whatever hat that you're wearing, you can definitely take on any other role. So in terms of education, of course, I'm very grateful to be here, to be, you know, with my mom, because education was the one thing that she had always stressed on. No matter how much you enjoy being on air, no matter how, you know, much you enjoy the process of being dolled up on air, but what you have on paper in terms of what you bring to the table, that background of, you know, me completing my degree in law, it always came from her and that pressure as well. So I think that part, for me, I love the fact that you can walk in the room, whether you come from a different education background and do what you're doing. And I love to see so many people doing that as well. I think the both of you as well, she comes from a different background and yourself as well. So it's really just about enjoying the process. And since today it's Mother's Day, I also think that a lot of parents out there, if at all you have your kids at home, and if you think that they have a different type of passion or their mind is elsewhere in terms of their passion in what they want to do, support them. It makes a huge, huge difference, in fact. So with this being said, I think the whole idea of moving from law over to media, I love the process. I love people that, you know, break the barriers and try something new as well.
I have to say, I actually, well, I manifested that question because, you know, I've been reading a lot of Jelisa's interviews and whatever. I know that this question would actually, it's actually a famous question that she actually gets. So I wanted to hear it in real time, like an actual answer here live with us.
Don't you love it? Like the mannerism. I'm like, yeah, I can head out the set. Today. But I'm going to go back to Mom, right? After hearing all of Jelisa's journey, and I know you're very, very close to all of your daughters, but she is the baby of the family.
Yes.
I'm actually very
I agree with that.
and I've been to your house. I've seen your interactions with all of your daughters. How do you keep... By the way, to those of you who are at home, if you guys don't know, she's actually a single mom.
Yes.
So that was not an easy journey to raise up 3 daughters. How did you find the time or essentially make sure that each daughter's needs and wants are catered equally? Or you try the best to make it as equal as possible?
Every mother goes through that because the second one was in U at that time. Well, the elder one had finished, and Jelisa had, I had most of my time with Jelisa because of the age gap. And Jelisa was all the time with me, except when she left for U, I used to go up to KL and see her and come back every weekend.
Wow!
Every weekend I'll drive up to see the girls and then I'll come back again. And you know, Jelisa was very independent, so I didn't have much to do, except for when she was in college. I was a bit worried because of I wanted her to have a good education. That was the most important thing. And at the same time, she started doing her shows, which I will also go and give her the support.
She was always on set with me.
All the time. Wherever she was, I'll drive there and I'll wait.
So all my producers who have worked with me, they know her as the manager because I didn't have one back
She's
then.
the Kris Jenner.
The Kris Jenner, yes.
I mean, you know how the scene is for most of us. If you're starting off your career, you don't know what a manager's role is and you don't know how to go about it. My mom would always be the one, why is your makeup this way? Why is it that your hair is not done at the side? She has always been at the side watching me. So this time today when I told her that she's on the sofa, she's like, but why is your job? Why am I here?
Why am I here today?
Why am I being dolled up today?
But I have to say, both of your journeys, right, I would say it's very much relatable to myself as well.
Yeah?
My mom, when my dad's always away for work.
Right.
So my mom has actually pretty much raised me. We're very close with each other. And being the youngest of the family, I have 5 siblings, being the youngest, and we have a huge age gap. So I understand when you say, like, I'm the baby of the family. Like, she's the baby of the family. Yes, exactly the same. And when I used to go for shows and all that, my mom used to come along with me. So I used to travel from Ipoh to KL when I was back doing kids programs. So I used to travel all the time and she would actually come along with me. All my producers know her, they love her, It's the same thing, and she'll commend the same thing. Oh, why is your hair like this? Your makeup's not right. You know, your clothing and all. What's your step or whatever not? So I do get where you're coming from. And I have to say, Jelisa, someday you're going to be a parent as well, right? I'm pretty sure your mom is a huge role model in your life. And what are some of the things that your mom has shown you, has done for you, that you would probably take away and keep it into your parenting style?
If there's one thing I feel, it goes back to everyone per se. It's not just for me in terms of how our household has been. But I think upbringing is very, very important. There are certain values, there are certain principles that come together as well. And, you know, these days, and of course, there are a lot of new moms out there as well. And my mom is rather traditional because years ago and how things are today is very different. But for me personally, I look at it as the same sort of gumption that she always had. If you want to learn something, put in the effort. Sometimes it's not so much about, the generation gap as well. If you want to do things differently, there are ways to also learn things. And I saw that with her throughout the entire time, especially when she was, my mom is a single mom. And whenever she had challenges, whenever she had solutions that she needed to find, I thought it was absolutely beautiful for her to figure things out. There was never a time where I had seen my mom pick up the phone and say things like, I need help. Never.
Very tough, independent mom.
Very
right?
strong, yes,
That's
on that on that note. And for me, I think as a parent, if I could add on a little bit of this experience. So when I first graduated, when I first got into university, and I started getting roles as well because I was under Dato Aznil at that time for hosting. And of course, as a parent, she was very, very worried because at first you pack your bags and you go into university and you want to graduate.
Yes.
There's nothing else. There's no questions asked, right? And then you're getting opportunities to be on TV or any of that. So she had that fear. And she said this one thing to me: if you think you're good at what you do, then you have to pay for your own education. If you can graduate and at the same time still be on TV or be on stage, you do it for a year and tell me how it goes. And yes, so I had to self-educate myself while she supported me from the side for everything. She would be there at my shows. She would ensure, even on my graduation day, I think she cried the most because, it was basically the juggling of both things as well. Yeah. So it's things like this, yeah. So it's things like this, I feel sometimes that as much as it's very, very nice to also have the backup of your family around, or maybe your support in terms of other values and all of this, it's the little things like this that really, really made me understood that it's so important for you to also have that sort of strength. It doesn't really matter how old you are, but if you can get things done, and I never once looked at it as, oh, mom is a single mom, it will be tough. Because I've also seen women with 3 jobs in a day, and they still actually have a family running, and they still get things done on the table. If you know you have to put food on the table, you'll find a way with it, right? So in this whole thing, in conclusion, is that what I saw from her is that, you should always have it in your head. If you want to get something done, if you want to go out there and put yourself out there, or whether you want to, ensure and translate it into a career, any of that, you can find a way. So in this whole thing, what I would, if I were to become a parent, which is subjective, of course, I'm not sure if I am, but, I would definitely want to have that sort of firmness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the sentiment. I'm actually going to throw that question back to you. And now that all of your children are grown, you've seen them live their lives, have kids, be off to an adult and to be a mom even. What are the life lessons you've learned from your daughters? So can you share with our audiences who are watching at home?
Ever since when all of them are in KL, and I live alone in Ipoh, I still do travel up to see. I have got 2 granddaughters, so they are my company now. So every time when I come up to KL, I make sure that, I do meet all my daughters together. So we'll have a meal together. And at the same time, I do spend a lot of time with my elder daughter because of my 2 granddaughters. They are so adorable. So even when my daughter delivered, I used to go up to KL, spend time with her, so that she can manage her babies. So I'll drive back again. I'll go on Sunday. I'll drive back on Friday, do the marketing in Ipoh, and go back to KL again. I used to help her out. So let's see when it comes to JELISA's
So
turn.
the life lesson that you have learned is that it never ends.
Never ends.
It never ends.
It never ends.
It just goes on and on and on and on.
And then my children do take me for holidays whenever they are free. They have vacation. I follow them.
That's one thing I want to ask, because I do notice that you guys travel a lot together. Did you not recently travel together?
She was with my older sister in Europe, and I was on a different trip. But the thing is that I look at it this way. I think a lot of kids who are raised in a home where you have a single parent, because you are always so close and rooted together, when you get your first paycheck, it comes back home first. Everything is together, right? And this is, I'm being very honest as well. It comes from a very honest perspective, because when you're together in this whole boat, everything comes back home. So even if it's, let's say, my first holiday, or perhaps if it's something large that I want to share it, with your friends or anyone else, it was always going to be, okay, take mom along. Okay, make sure mom is with us. So I think, yeah, we do travel a lot, which is nice. I'm still experiencing a lot of things, and she's on the journey with me, but of course I got married now, so I'm also...
I can remember when she got her first pay packet, she took me to Vietnam for a holiday.
Yeah, that was actually the first time.
Holiday together.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so cute. Any fun memories during the holiday?
Oh, a lot. We enjoyed a lot. A lot of food and shopping. That's what we do most of the time.
Whenever JELISA travels, I expect her to shop.
Yeah,
Shop,
everywhere.
food,
I'm not getting onto that topic because I don't want to promote heavy spending. Heavy spender, and I know that, I'm aware.
I think we will all be in like the highlight of the topic of heavy spending here.
That would be on a different episode, not for today.
Love it, love it, love it.
So, Mom, you've actually... Are you still currently in Ipoh as well?
Yes.
So you travel often back and forth with your daughters?
At least twice or thrice a month.
Ah, okay. So, of course, I would say, JELISA, you're the youngest in the family, right? So, when JELISA got married, how was it for you? Because JELISA, you recently only got married.
Very emotional.
She's going to cry now.
No, I'm not going to cry. It was very emotional, but of course, at the same time, I was very happy.
Yeah.
That, she has moved on, and, actually we were very, very close. And it was so difficult to let go.
I know, I understand that, yes.
She's a baby, right? Of the
Yeah,
family, and the last one to head
and
off to the
I
world.
was wondering, oh dear, she's going to move so far away.
Yeah.
But never did I know that she'll be going up and down KL and Singapore.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, that's the photo from your wedding ceremony.
That's actually just my registration. I still have my traditional wedding coming up.
Yeah.
So that was actually a very short ceremony because I just wanted the formalities out of the way because my husband is Singaporean. And and I think based on that whole experience of getting married, girls, or maybe perhaps any child who's close to their parent, I think that always comes with the whole hard to let go sort of a thing when I think Zoe, you can relate as well.
I'm the eldest, so my parents were like, yes, go ahead. When I told my dad was like, yeah, so Taufik, which is my husband, he wants to propose. He was like, oh, finally. It was more of a, because I'm the eldest, right? So it's more of like, oh, finally she's settling down, found a good husband, found a good a man to get married with. My mom was on the more like, yeah, you have to do everything very traditional, very like, you have to do this, this. And I was just like fighting with my mom because my mom's we are very close in age.
Okay.
We're only 15 years apart.
Oh,
yeah, we're very, very close in age. So I have a very sibling-like relationship. But once I'm married and I'm an adult, I understand my mom a little bit better.
Right.
My parents are divorced. So I grew up with half of my life with a single mom, single dad situation.
Okay, right.
So my mom traveled a lot. So I'm like more appreciative of my mom as I grow older. Oh, I'm going to cry when I talk about her. Yeah.
I think today this was exactly what I was so worried about, because every time any girl, speaks about a parent, it's a very natural thing that, we all get emotional, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just about my story and how we had to, face things and challenges together, but I think the both of you relate to it as well, because that's what the sacrifices parents or moms, have done for us as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
And of course, not just today's Mother's Day. It's a famous thing to say every day is Mother's Day.
Every day is Mother's Day.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure my mom at home probably after this show when I get back, oh, you heard what they said, settling down, getting married. Oh no, I can already hear the conversation coming up.
I think marriage is something where for girls in general, if you come from that sort of background where it's really the independence of you doing things on your own, marriage is nice. It's a beautiful thing. But at the same time, for me, in a very, very honest note, it was never the top priority. But it's always, let's work, let's meet people, let's always enjoy life the way you should as a girl. And then when the time is right, if it happens, but don't force it. Yeah.
Exactly. And eventually you found a man who complements your life, who gives you the support that you need. I'm actually curious, right? Auntie, how did... I'm not going to mention the name. I know you're very going with this name. JELISA's husband, right? when he first approached you, or rather asked for hand in marriage, how was that process like? And do you have any tips for, you know, the future son-in-laws out there who want to impress the mother-in-laws, or want to impress the future moms? What's the number one tip or the number one thing that every mother should look for a good son-in-law?
I would look for a capable man, I mean, which, what JELISA found. And he was nice, and I don't know, because when I met him, it was the first meeting. I didn't get to know him well.
Ah, okay.
So as time went on, because I think it was a 3-year relationship, if I'm not mistaken, as time went on, I got to know him better. Anyway, I'm very proud I have got 2 son-in-laws.
But what was the first instinct, Mom, like when you met him, the first impression?
First impression, he was a bit reserved. Then I kept asking JELISA, you know, he's so quiet. She said, no,
Because
Mom,
I'm the
give him
chatterbox,
some time.
right?
Yes.
You know, I always
Opposites
finish
attract.
I'm the girl that
The opposites
finishes the
attract.
sentences at
So
all
fine,
times.
Mommy,
yeah.
give him some time.
Yeah.
So we got along well. He's okay now.
Yeah.
He's okay, he's okay.
How should future son-in-laws impress their future mother-in-laws? Like, what's the trick here? Should the first meeting be, you know, flowers and chocolates, or should it be like a conversation?
Not necessary. It's always a conversation, which I would prefer, because at least you get to know that, you know, he's opening up. Sometimes it's quite difficult. Some of them just keep quiet.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't speak. You see, it's always the daughters doing the talking. So it's we are the judges, you see. We have to get to know him better, then only we agree, you see.
What
feel
we'd
that, I feel
love
Can I
to
be
move on.
extremely honest? Can
Yes,
I
Yes, sure, go ahead.
My mom had one straight face on. I still remember that, and she looked at me and she said to him, "So why her?"
Oh!
Wow. Straight to the point.
For a
She didn't
while.
play any games. It wasn't, you know, I would say it was, like she said, she was being very honest about it as well, the first meet. But again, because it's a precious bond, it's your daughter and your mom, and, you know, it's that sort of a bond, and you have someone new walking into my life as well. Of course, she liked him along the way, but she was very firm about it. Why her? And that's basically what was her main question.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the number one question every mom wants to know,
Why
right?
her, right?
I mean, we
Why my
all meet people, but why would you settle with someone, right?
Exactly, exactly. So we don't want to settle on the show just as yet, ladies and gentlemen, because like we said, today is actually a very, very special day. Fresh Brew actually prepared a small gift for both of you.
Oh,
for your
wow.
mom.
Thank you.
We're going to get our producer, Kak Dewi, to pass the gift. It's a very cute little cactus right over here.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe,
Thank you.
JELISA, you can pass it on to
sure,
your mom.
sure.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Pass it on to...
This is so
Right.
pretty. Thanks
It's so
a
pretty.
lot
My
to
God.
the
Yes.
team. All right, so to Mommy,
Thank
this one
you,
is for
Special
you.
Brew.
Happy Mother's Day, Mommy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on the
Alright,
show. I
exactly.
would love to carry on with our conversation. I would say this is one of my most favorite interview we've probably done on the show.
And I really hope your moms are watching, because this
I really do
feels
hope
like
so.
it's very relatable for girls in media, right?
Yeah,
so I really
exactly.
hope your moms are
My
watching.
mom
as well.
watches. She sometimes like, hey, how come your hair was so weird last week? Same thing. She does this to me all the way in Sabah, okay?
I get a call after the show.
But again, thank you so much, JELISA. Thank you so much, Auntie, for being on the
Thank
show.
you.
Happy Mother's Day once again.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again.